All right, you're good to go.
Okay, ready?
Cool. Yeah. So like sometimes people give Ignite talks up here and they're like, yeah, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take this as legal advice. But this talk, holy shit, is this not legal advice? So let's, if anything, this is illegal advice. So take this all kind of with a grain of salt, all right? And then we'll all be fine. So I'm Nick. I'm a fourth year CS major. I'm going to graduate at some point. That's like probably me. Sometimes I give some Ignite talks, and I have never committed financial fraud. So sometimes, let's say you're like sitting in a meeting and someone's like, hey, so some hackers stole like all the social security numbers that we have and we're a credit bureau. Or like our processors have like a security vulnerability in all the computers, right? And you say, does anyone feel like selling some stock? Usually you can't predict what's going to happen to the price of a company, right? But you have this gift where now you can predict the future because you're an insider. So you know that the price is going to go down, and you may be thinking, hey, why don't I sell the stock and make some money? Or you could get kind of fancy and maybe buy a bunch of like options or something, and instead of making like 20% on your trade by trying to sell some stock, you could try to get like 1,000%. So this is all sounding pretty good, right? This is called insider trading. You're actually not allowed to do this, as it turns out. You cannot trade for a profit on information that's material and non-public that you got as an insider. So the SEC will try to like notice if you do that. People get arrested for this a lot. Our goal is to not get arrested for insider trading. The easiest way is to not do any insider trading, so just don't do it. But like hypothetically, how would you do it? The first step, you can't do it in your own account. They like kind of look for that. It's way too easy to catch, so you got to find someone else. And specifically, you want someone else that you probably don't already know. Like if you don't know their name, it's even better. Don't pick like a family member or anyone like that. Send this person your inside information, but don't like send it on iMessage or something. And if you do, especially don't Google how to delete iMessage, iCloud, which actually happened in one of these cases. So electronic communication is out. Talking in person is in. For some reason, it almost always happens on a golf course. Yeah. So don't have any like records of the insider trading that's about to happen. And then you want to meet the person after they've done the trade, and they're going to hand you a suitcase full of cash in the parking lot, representing your cut. And then you launder the money, and it's pretty much golden from there. This is the general structure. This is how pretty much all of the trades happen. And yet, for some reason, people keep getting arrested. So there was this group of people, these two guys that did an excellent job. They didn't know each other. They met in like a coffee shop. One person would write the name of the company that was going to go up on a sticky note. The other would eat the sticky note. Like it was all great, but they ate the sticky note in vain because they went to jail. How did they get caught? You know how you can buy those options, right? So that you make the 1,000% instead of the 20%? They bought short-dated, out-of-the-money call options. They bought these really high-risk options that you have no reason to buy, especially if you've never bought them before, unless you're doing insider trading. So the SEC will like look for it and say, hey, who is buying these options, who hasn't done it? Let's just investigate them just in case. And I can see why it's tempting to do that, though, because if you work at a company, you probably only have insider information on that company, right? What if you had insider information on every company? So some Ukrainian hackers had hacked a bunch of US news wires, and they basically had advanced information on all of the mergers that were going to happen for every company. So they insider traded on all of the information. They would sell the name of the company that was acquiring the other company to other people who would then go do the trades. This is the SEC briefing on arresting those people. They have this kind of weird diagram on the side. I don't know why they have that diagram. I like went and found it. There's like there's some stock photos thrown in there. How do you think these people got caught? They sold the information to some folks who bought short-dated, out-of-the-money call options. So they said, we should investigate these people. Or like these other two guys who, among other stupid things that they were doing, they met up a bunch in New York, and they were taking the same Metro cards linked to their name to take the subway to meet up. Part of the evidence against them was that their Metro cards had swipes that got them in the same position. The SEC is not looking at everyone's Metro card swipes. They only investigated these people because guess why? They bought short-dated, out-of-the-money call options. So basically, don't do that. This is kind of depressing. We're probably going to get arrested. Everyone who's doing insider trading so far is generally getting arrested, at least that we know of. So If you buy a goat, it gets depressed if there's not another goat, just sort of to add some happiness there. So if you take anything from this talk, it's don't buy short-dated out-of-the-money call options and have at least 2 goats. Thanks.